welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And I want to thank each and every one of you for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I sincerely appreciate it. So look, today was the day. Today was the day of the financial wellness seminar sponsored by Living Purpose Church. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So I've been running to get to the studio, make sure this show started on time at 1:30. I'm here every Saturday, 1:30 Central Standard Time, right here on Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com, the 800 Credit Score Man Show. And of course, you can catch it on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, sometimes SoundCloud. They act a little funny every now and then also YouTube as well. So thank you again for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. Now, if you missed the financial wellness seminar today, do not miss the next one. I don't know when it's going to be scheduled, but trust me, today was absolutely fabulous. Today we spoke about budget. So LaTarsha Bailey, thank you very much. She presented about budget. Myself, I presented about credit and better living. And then also Barry, the Loan Arranger Johnson, spoke about mortgages, how to obtain them, how that whole process works. And it was absolutely knowledge filled. And the people there, I think, were absolutely blessed by the knowledge that we were able to impart on them today. So again, do not miss out on the next one. Stay tuned with me. I'll let you know when the next one is coming up so you can get in on that financial wellness as well. I think it was a perfect time to actually do this particular seminar because people are getting their taxes back. And so instead of using your taxes to go buy a pair of Jordans or something of that nature, we want you to use your tax money to do something financially beneficial for yourself. Now, that could mean paying off an old creditor. That could mean paying down some of your debt on your credit cards. It also could mean taking that money and figuring out your budget and how you're going to work those things so it works out better for you and your family. So, again, thank you guys for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man show. I really appreciate it. So what in the world are we going to talk about today? So I have been talking to you guys a lot about collections over the last few months. I gave my strategy before how to deal with collections and negotiate them so you don't have to pay as much as they say you owe. So if you actually owe a particular debt, if you have already gone and disputed that particular debt and it came back and said it is yours and it's not going to be removed from your credit report, then we need to deal with that collection. Oftentimes, we just can't let it sit there and hope that it falls off. Yes, your collection will fall off of your credit report after 7 years. But what if you're just in year number 2 right now? If you're in year number 2, 5 years is a long time for that collection to fall off of your credit report, stop dragging down your score and preventing you from getting good interest rates, as well as maybe even preventing you from getting the things that you want, whether it's a car or a home or even just new furniture. Maybe a collection may be stopping you from doing that. So I've been telling you guys my strategy about utilizing the calendar month and utilizing the quarters and how to do that when it comes to collections. So I'm reminding you today. Last month I said to you, I needed you to get your money ready because in this month, in the month of March, the last month of the quarter, we were going to contact a creditor that we owe for collections, and we were going to negotiate a lower amount to pay and to get that collection taken off of your credit report. So this is how you're going to do it. I'm going to detail this out for you, and this is how I want you to do it. So since I advised you of that last month, I hope you got your money ready. And so now it's time to actually act. It's time to do something. In the credit score KISS, the KISS stands for Keep It Smart and Simple. We always talk about doing something, taking the knowledge that you have gained and actually doing something. Last week I mentioned, knowledge is power. but it doesn't mean anything if you don't apply it somewhere. So now we're going to actually apply it. And so here is what I want you to do. Today is actually March the 11th. So it's March the 11th. And I told you before, I want you to use that last month of the quarter and start contacting your creditors if you have a collection on your credit bureau. So it's March the 11th. I said I didn't want you to contact them too early in the month. What I want you to do is to contact them on the 20th or the 21st of the month. Contact them then to give them a short window to decide if they want to take your offer or not. Now, typically, it doesn't take that long. The giving them 10 or 12 days, or it's actually more about giving yourself that time, because if you don't have the money right then to pay it right then, or you can't pay it the next day, you give yourself to the end of the month. Say, I'll pay it by the end of the month. That's what they're looking for. The creditors, the collection agencies, they're looking for you to pay that account off and by the end of the month. That's what they want you to do. So this is why I'm telling you to contact them around the 20th or the 21st of the month. So let's use this for example. If you have a collection and it's at a collection agency and it's $1,000, what I want you to do is give them a call and start negotiating. So when you call them, you need to have your ducks in a row already. You need to know how much money you can actually pay, and you're going to have to follow through with what you're telling them that you're going to pay. You got to follow through, because if you miss your deadline that you both agree upon, then the next time you call them, they're less likely to deal with you, to give you a reduction, or even to give you some additional time to pay them. So what you want to do is you want to have a set figure in your head of how much you're willing to pay, how much you can pay. So for example, if you have, let's say $1,000 debt, what I would typically do with $1,000 debt at a collection agency, I would call them up and I would offer them $300. Now they're going to balk at $300 because it's a $700 difference between what you're offering them and what they say that you owe them. So they're going to balk at that typically the first time that you talk to them. So if that happens, then they'll come back and maybe they'll give you an offer back, and they may say, no, we can do $700. In your head, you've already made up in your mind that you can pay them, or you're willing to pay them $500. So when they come back, you want to say no, and actually don't even act like you're thinking about it. Don't act like you're contemplating doing $700. Immediately, you want to say to them, no. I cannot do $700. The most that I can actually do is $500, and I can pay it today. I can pay it this afternoon. I can pay it tomorrow, or I can pay it by Friday. That's what you want to do. You want to come back and say, 500 is all I can do, and that's actually a stretch for me to get you $500, but I want to get this account taken care of. That's how you want your conversation to go. And so if they agree, and hopefully they will, you will have saved yourself $500 by simply giving them a call, initiating the call instead of them calling you and catching you on the phone. This is you initiating the call, and hopefully you'll save yourself $500. Sometimes you'll save yourself $600. Sometimes you'll save yourself $6,000. But here's that's how you want to do it. You want to be confident when you speak to them. You don't want to be nasty. You definitely want to be nice to them, because they do hold this account in their hands for the most part. So you want to do that and come back and say, well, I can go ahead and I can pay you $500. I can do it today, or I can do it tomorrow, or whatever date that you set. But you have got to live up to that promise and make sure that you pay them at the time that you said you would pay them. So that's how it should go when you call and you talk to your creditor. When you call and talk to that collection agency, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to do it the way that I just told you, and you want to make sure that you make that payment. Now, at the same time, when you make that arrangement and you say, I'm going to pay you $500, you also want to make sure that they are going to remove it from your credit report. Do not get caught in wordsmithing where they say, yes, it'll show zero, it'll show paid on your credit report, or it'll show settled on your credit report. That's not what you want. You want them to remove it from your credit report altogether. You want them to remove it as if it never happened. That's how it's going to benefit you and your credit score. Because here, unfortunately, here's what happens. If you have a collection at a collection agency, it's showing on your credit report on all three, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, or just one or just two, it's showing on your credit report. Now, when you go and pay it and now it's going to show zero or it shows settled on your credit report, it doesn't help your score. It does not improve your score, not at all. In addition to not improving your score, it also starts the clock over basically. So they have 7 years to collect on you, or it'll stay on your credit report for 7 years. So let's say it you did it, this March the 20th. Now, when you make that payment, that's like the last date of your activity. So it's the last date of your activity is March the 22nd. Then 7 years from March the 22nd, it'll still be on your credit report. So it starts that clock all over again. That's what you want to avoid. You don't want it on your credit report, even if it shows paid. Yes, of course, if it shows paid and, you go to apply for a mortgage or a car or whatever it is, then that's going to be good that it showed paid. But you don't want it on your credit report at all. And getting it removed from your credit report as if it never happened should help your credit score increase. So if you only have the one collection on your credit report and you go from having one to having none on your credit report, and that collection was actually dragging down your credit score, then of course your credit score should increase. So make sure that you follow these instructions, and that's exactly what I want you to do. If it's $1,000 and you're going to offer them, that's basically 30%. If you're offering them $300, that's 30% of what the deal is. You don't want to talk to them in percentages. You want to give them whole dollars. You want to give them dollars of what you can pay. It actually isn't a bad idea if you were to use the tactic to say, I can pay $475. That makes it seem like you have thought it out. You've gathered all of your pennies and your quarters and your nickels, and all you can do is $475. You can't even do $500. You can do $475. You can't do $480. You can do $475. That makes it look like you've been diligent about looking at your budget and what you can actually do, and then they may be more acceptable to the offer that you're making them for your collection. So make sure you do that. You do it this month. Don't wait till April to do it. If you do it in April, that's the start of a new quarter. They may not be as open, if you will, to you coming in and trying to negotiate a settlement for your particular account. So do it at the end of the quarter. March is the end of the quarter, and I want you to do it this month. So that's what I want you to do. When we're talking about collections, we've been talking about them a whole bunch. So I want you to do that. It's time now to act. So I need you to act on that and get your collections taken care of. If you have more than one and you have the funds to do so, and they're with different companies, call up the different companies, do the same thing over and over and over. The first time you do it, evaluate and assess what works and what didn't work for you, how you spoke to them, and see if it works. If it does, continue the same thing and repeat. So it's like rinse and repeat. So do the same thing again so you can get those collections taken care of and you can increase your credit score. Because we all know if you increase your credit score, you're going to lower your interest rates and you're going to save yourself some additional money. So let's do that and get rid of those collections. All right, so let me go on right now. I can't believe it's almost halfway through the show already. So we're like at the 14-minute mark. So look, let's do this. I want to say, first off, I want to say thank you to everybody for your condolences. I said last week that we lost somebody in my family, personal family, as well as the credit score, the 800 Credit Score Man Show family as well. And I want to say thank you to everybody that sent your condolences and your sympathies and prayed as well. So thank you so very much. If you would be so inclined, there is a GoFundMe page. So if you go to GoFundMe.com/Family King Fire, that's